This is the one thing that might keep me from playing professional golf. Today's episode might have a more serious tone than some in the past because this is the story of how I went from thinking I may never play serious golf again to trying to become a professional golfer in 1 year. Today and over the course of the next few weeks, we're going to be discussing the injuries that nearly cost me my golf career and still stand in the way of me going pro. So if you're interested, go ahead and join the gallery, hit that subscribe button, and follow along. When I was 18, I had a serious back injury. I herniated a disc in my lumbar spine. Now, for most people, the disc bulges outward between the vertebra. I wasn't so lucky. My disc bulged downward into my vertebra. The technical name for this is a Schmorl's node. These x-rays are fairly recent and show quite a bit of recovery, actually. The x-rays I took when this first happened were much, much worse, and this node was much deeper into the vertebra. And honestly, there's no point at which I can say this was the moment this injury happened. We'd been lifting heavy in weightlifting class my senior year. I remember we did PRs and CrossFit in one day, and the next day I woke up and my back was feeling a little off. But it wasn't really until the region championship that I started to feel immense pain. Now, this immense pain came from the back spasms in my lower back, and this is a pain I would become all too familiar with over the course of the next decade. We played 36 holes in one day for that region championship, and somehow I managed to play every single one of them. Despite being a 3 handicap at the time, I carded an 88 and an 81 in my 2 rounds, which honestly was pretty good for someone who could barely stand up. From that point, I would go on to have MRIs and x-rays and physical therapy on almost a yearly basis for the next 7 or so years. There was a time in which I thought it would be a victory just to play golf once a week again. During the countless hours in physical therapy, I learned a ton of different stretching routines that helped me soothe this pain, that helped keep it at bay. Now, I could never say I was really healed, and since that day in high school, I haven't been. I've never felt the same again since then. Every time I play golf, every time I played soccer, every time I ran, there was pain. But nonetheless, I kept up with this stretching routine. And again, it would keep the pain at bay. It would mitigate the pain. It would never make it go away, but it would provide some temporary relief. And I thought, honestly, this is as good as it's going to get. I'm going to have to suffer, but I'm going to have to limit my suffering. And if it takes stretching 30 minutes a day, then that's what I'll do. Then I came across this TikTok video by Brendan Pena, and he had a similar injury, a herniated disc that he thought he would never recover from, and he thought would derail him for his whole life. He did the same thing I did, spent years trying to mitigate the pain with stretching routines that did a little but not enough, and then he started actually trying to strengthen his back, something he had been very afraid of, something I was and am very afraid of. Because the times in the past where I have tried to strengthen my back, I didn't go about it properly and ended up hurting it worse. So I started watching his videos, I started doing some of the exercises he showed, and I started seeing a little improvement. I then came across another TikTok creator called Golf Wad, and his videos were also instrumental in this process of getting my back healed. Because now I was incorporating rotational strength movements into my workout. And I really genuinely started to notice a difference. At the beginning of this year, when I started this journey in April, I was still at that point where I thought if I could play golf once or twice a week, that would be a miracle. And now I'm at a point where I've played a competitive tournament back-to-back days, 2 days in a row. And then I played another round the day after. So I played 18 holes 3 days in a row, something I thought genuinely I would never be able to do again. It's been such a long road. This is something that I just accepted that I had to live with. Pain that I accepted would never go away, would constantly keep me from doing the things I loved and enjoyed. And not just golf, hiking, working out, playing soccer. I mean, the pain was debilitating for the last decade. For so long, I'd been focused on keeping the pain at bay. And now, for the first time, I felt like, and I feel like, I can actually do something about it. I have some kind of control over it. I'm not just beholden to this pain anymore. So now being able to go hit a bucket of range balls and putt and chip, or being able to hit a bucket of range balls and play 9 holes, something I never thought I could do again. That has been one of the most liberating parts of this whole process. Just getting in the gym and not being afraid. Getting to the golf course and not being afraid of my body. And when I first started this process, that was my biggest fear, was that my back was going to prevent me from playing golf. Is that, yeah, I might be able to get my swing to a place where I like it. I might be able to become a better putter. I've got a good mental game. But ultimately, I was afraid I'd never make it despite all of that because my back wouldn't hold up for 2, 3, 4 days in a row. So that's where we stand right now. I'm more grateful than ever to be able to play golf again, to be able to play nearly every day, to be able to go to the gym without fear, to feel stronger, to feel my body changing. But for now, I just wanted to bring this into our journey because it's been such a big part of my journey aside from golf. Just personally in my life, this has been something that I've struggled with for a decade now. And it's become second nature to hurt, to feel pain, to be limited. And I would be remiss if I didn't include you guys in that process because it is such a defining factor for this whole journey. If I don't get my back right, it isn't going to work. I can't play golf. I can't play professionally. The answer to our question, can an average guy play professional golf, will be no. This is the dark side of things, the side where things hurt and where there's suffering and where there's pain. And that's part of the process. I promised you guys at the very beginning of this, I was going to bring you all the details, get you as close to this process as I could possibly get you because I want this to be a journey for all of us, not just me. You're a part of it as much as I am. And this is the reality. The reality is my body needs to improve. As intimate as I want this to be, as close as I can get you to the action, there is stuff you don't see. And that's what today's video is about, is showing you some of that stuff you don't see. You get to see me play matches, you get to see me talk here, you get to see me in tournaments, but you don't get to see me on the couch with my electrotherapy unit. Something that has been a daily process for me over the course of the last 5 years. The other two things that are part of my daily routine is one, the heat pad. We have an electrical heat pad. And then follow that up with the ice pack. So daily ice, daily electrotherapy, daily heating, daily stretching, daily exercising, daily mobility. That's the stuff you don't see. Every day I get up, I have to stretch. Every afternoon, I have to go to the gym. And every evening, I have to ice and electrotherapy my back. And honestly, it doesn't even feel like that much work. If this is what it takes for me to play golf, if this is what it takes for me to be relatively painless, I'm willing to do that. I'm happy to do that. But that's what you don't see. Behind the camera, you don't see me laying around on ice packs. You don't see me zapping my back while unloading the dishwasher. You don't see me falling asleep with the heat pad on. It is constant maintenance. And it's tough, but it's part of this process, and that's a part of the process you have to see, and I want you to see, because this is as real as it gets. So as things stand today, I am greatly improved. I am very thankful to Brandon Pena and Golf Wad and everybody else who posts videos out there that help people like me. I'm very grateful for all of the physical therapists and all of the doctors and all the chiropractors I've seen over the years that have got me to this point. And I think it's time we take the next step. It's time we get more strength in the back, more strength in the core, more weight on these bones. If we're going to give this whole thing a shot, then we're going to give it our all. There's no point in holding back now. This is it. This is my 1-year journey. This is the time. We will be back next week with my next injury video, which is going to discuss the knee surgery that I had when I was just 19 years old. See you in the next episode of Tourbound.